That was quite magical. I'm reluctant to interrupt the feeling as it ended. And yet I must. Good morning. Welcome to All Souls on this magical morning. It's a joy to be with all of you in the sanctuary and all of you who join us by live stream. We are a welcoming and inclusive community of members and friends, and we especially want to welcome those of you who are new this morning or visiting. And we want to welcome families with children this morning. We don't have religious education since it's a long weekend, so we especially welcome children in the sanctuary, although you're always welcome here. My name is Pamela Patton. I'm All Souls Assistant Minister, and joining me this morning in the chancel is our interim senior minister, Reverend Elaine Peresluha. So as you could see, joining our wonderful music team today is Carter Bray, who's the principal cello for the New York Philharmonic. Carter is here in honor of his beloved English teacher, Peggy Montgomery, who went on after high school to become a dear friend of his, and who was a longtime devoted member of All Souls. If you are new, or perhaps you come in frequently, or you consider yourself new-ish because of how often you come, or you're coming back after a while, we hope that you'll introduce yourselves to Reverend Elaine or to me. We'd love to meet you. Also, we have pew cards in front of you that you can fill out with pencil or use the QR code and either put in the offering plate as it goes around, or there's a box out in the vestibule, or you can hand it to me, whatever you like. We have All Souls in 20 minutes every Sunday after the service here in the chancel, and you're most welcome to join. If you are new or newish, it's a great chance to learn a little bit about us, and we hope you will join because it'll enable us to connect with you better. And even if you've been coming a while and you've been wondering whether to do it, come on, check it out. It's only 20 minutes. We have a newcomer bagel brunch every third Sunday of the month, so that's next Sunday, and we hope you'll join for that as well. We have coffee hour every Sunday downstairs, down 2 flights of stairs. All are welcome. And this Sunday it's hosted by our garden committee in honor of our volunteer, Sumi Kobota, who we're very proud of and appreciative of. And the garden committee will be down in the garden. Please join them if you like. Also, the Historical Society will be in the Forest Church Gallery, so members of the Historical Society are invited to join them there. I'd also like to talk about a few opportunities to engage in the future of All Souls. This is a self-governing congregation, so whether you've been coming a long time or you're brand new, we are interested in having you engage and prepare during this time of interim ministry to call a senior minister. We have What's on Your Mind listening sessions on Sundays and Saturdays. We also have some new sessions during the week, which are in your order of service, in person and on Zoom. And this is a chance to get to know other people in the community and share your questions and thoughts about All Souls and our future. Another way to get engaged is to join our bylaws listening sessions on Wednesday evenings on Zoom. All of this is in your order of service and online. And next Saturday, we have poster making and joining for the No Kings March, and anybody who'd like to do that can come here at 9 o'clock next Saturday morning. We'd love to stay connected with all of you during the week, so please write to us at info@allsoulsnyc.org if you don't get our emails, because we have something going on almost every day. And now please silence your electronic devices if you haven't already, and double check if you're not sure, or even if you are. And I invite you to quiet your hearts and your minds as we prepare to hear the call to worship. O sun, moon, stars, our other relatives peering at us from the inside of God's house.
Walk with us as we climb into the next place, naked, but for the stories we have of each other.
Keep us from giving up in this land of nightmares,
which is also the land of miracles.
We sing our song, which we've been promised has no beginning or end. All acts of kindness are lights in the war for justice.
We light our chalice this morning in honor of the deep wisdom so generously shared by our Native American siblings, the first Americans.
Hello, my name is Trevor Sansom. I've been coming to All Souls since Easter of 2024. Like many here, I had a religious upbringing. My mother raised us Catholic. We'd go to church every Sunday, and I'd go to CCD every week until going through confirmation. That said, I eventually stepped away from it all due to some dissonance between some of the taught concepts and my own observations. This was around 2009. Now, fast forward to 2024. I was doing some reading and learned about Unitarianism. I saw there was a congregation near me, and on Easter decided to visit All Souls. I didn't know exactly what to expect and had no real plans to make it a regular thing. That said, almost immediately I was taken by surprise. First, while in line, feeling like a fish out of water, complete stranger, two congregants in line next to me introduced themselves, and it was in a manner that was very notably welcoming and friendly. While a simple gesture, it set the tone for what I'd come to learn is the community here. Next was when the music started, both the choir and the concert band. I was shocked by the level of professionalism. I joke with my friends that it was like being at Carnegie Hall. Now, third was the sermon itself. It was very beautifully crafted, and there wasn't a touch of dogma, typical of what I'd been used to in the past, so I felt like I could relax. I learned over time that what stood out to me so vividly at that first service was actually just standard features of All Souls, but it was enough to win me over, and been coming back pretty much every Sunday since. Who knew? Now, I invite you to stand as you are willing and able, and join me in repeating our bond of union. In the freedom of the truth and in the spirit of love, we unite for the worship of God and the service of all.
Don't sit down. Remain standing in body or in spirit, and we'll join together in hymn number 360. Here we have gathered. Kindness.
By Naomi Shihab Nye.
Before you know what kindness really is, you must lose things. Feel the future dissolve in a moment like salt in a weakened broth.
What you held in your hand,
What you counted and carefully saved.
all this must go, so you know how desolate the landscape can be between the regions of kindness.
How you ride and ride, thinking the bus will never stop.
The passengers eating maize and chicken will stare out the window forever.
Before you learn the tender gravity of kindness, you must travel where the Indian in a white poncho lies dead by the side of the road.
You must see how this could be you, how he too was someone who journeyed through the night with plans and the simple breath that kept him alive.
Before you know kindness as the deepest thing inside you, you must know sorrow as the other deepest thing.
You must wake up with sorrow.
You must speak to it till your voice catches the thread of all sorrows.
And you see the size of the cloth.
Then it is only that kindness makes sense anymore.
Only kindness that ties your shoes and sends you out into the day to mail letters and purchase bread.
Only kindness that raises its head from the crowd of the world to say, "It is I you have been looking for."
And then goes with you everywhere, like a shadow or a friend.
You will notice that we are not singing the song. We're going to save Spirit of Life till after the prayer. And I invite you to sing it seated. That is my request, as part of the prayer. So will you take a breath with me? Lift your chests and lower your eyes to the seat of your heart. And find that place of kindness. For I know you have all felt deep sadness. With kindness, remember the generations of voices who have filled the sanctuary. Appreciate all that we have in common, our joys, our loves, our fears, our sorrows, the need for and the essence of community. Feel the promise of the children raised in this community, the children now arriving, the hope, the learning, the faith that inspires us all to come on Sunday mornings. Remember the purpose that brought you here. We are All Souls, New York City. Our thoughts, our words, our music, Our prayers, our meditation, no matter the words we use to describe them, always intertwine through the years, through the generations, diverse in thought, belief, together. Each Sunday and more, we celebrate the possibilities generated in this space, in each and every heart, in each and every faith, in each and every face. So may it be. Amen, and blessed be.
This morning, our offering is for the Art Therapy Project based in New York City, which provides free group art therapy in a safe, inclusive space for people in need of mental health services. The organization serves children and adults affected by societal inequality, prejudice, and trauma, helping them explore their personal journeys and improve their quality of life. This is a Share the Plate Sunday, and if you have ideas about other organizations for Share the Plate, please do look at your order of service and let us know. Our offertory today with Carter and with the All Souls Choir is, I need my glasses, sorry. Caminante by Andrea Casarubios.
Just let that soak in. I look out and I wonder what each one of you has arrived here today, either to give or receive. Are you looking for kindness? Are you offering trust? Are you looking for inspiration or engagement? And I looked at the words of that anthem. Traveler, your footprints are the path. Traveler, there is no path, only the walking. The path is made by walking. Tomorrow is, according to the Pew Research Center, the day when 30 states and 3 U.S. territories will celebrate Columbus Day. 17 states and Washington, D.C. will commemorate Indigenous Peoples Day. There are several states that will recognize both. Only one is still the official federal holiday, for which the post office will be closed. And that's Columbus Day. I think it was around 1990 that the movement to try to shift that focus on imperialism and the overrunning of the earth with explorers that destroyed indigenous cultures and land was a priority. But not yet enough of a priority that we've changed the federal law. Long before this movement, my family used to we lived on Cape Cod, which is not too far from Plymouth, Massachusetts. And we would fast on Thursday, and we would go to the day of mourning rituals. On Friday, after Thanksgiving, there would be a celebration that the Wampanoag tribe would put on. They'd cook traditional foods, and we would all feast, and we'd hear songs, and we'd hear stories. It was just an amazing way to celebrate gratitude. Much more meaningful than just on Thursday. It was in 2008 that President Obama officially designated that Friday after Thanksgiving as Native American Heritage Day. It too was not made into a federal holiday, but still the Native people of our nation felt seen and recognized that this day for them helped amplify that focus away from Columbus, away from the way that colonization happened, and focused on them, their stories, their culture, the fact that they're still here. So, unlike that Friday, Columbus Day, or Indigenous Peoples Day, now, for me, is about all Indigenous people. So it's not just focused on the United States. It's a way to commemorate and celebrate all the Indigenous people around the globe, remembering their centering of the earth in their spirituality, the individual cultures that have enriched the world for tens of thousands of years. Only President Biden, the one and only U.S. president, actually proclaimed Indigenous Peoples Day as a holiday for this country on 1 year, in 2020. I went down to Battery Park this week and went to the museum and saw the statue there that commemorates the Dutch purchase of Manhattan from the native Lenape people. And when I did some research and sort of got ready for this sermon, I learned that that is not the true story. How many people know that's not the true story? That there was $24 exchanged, That is true. But the Dutch West Indies Company, seeing that as a legal commercial transaction, thought they had purchased Mannahatta. The Lenape people, who do not have any word in their language for the ownership of land, that is like as foreign to them as standing on our heads in the sanctuary would be to us. So they had no concept that they were transferring ownership, because nobody owns land. That is a sacred body to be shared by all people. So they were extending kindness, I think, perhaps hope that this new invader could live in peace, could share the land, could be one. But the Dutch did not see it that way. The wall went up. The wall went up to separate the indigenous people and the British from the Dutch. And what do we have now? We have Wall Street. I think that's just an amazing story. So, ethnocentricity. Ethnocentricity. That sense that you are raised in a culture that is the only culture, that is the best culture, and while we all have sort of nationalistic honor in who we are and how we're raised, it's important to remember everybody feels that way about their culture, right? So it was an ethnocentric error back in 1626. Lenape feeling generous, we're going to share this land, we're all going to live together, and the Dutch saying, we got a deal. We got a real deal. And New York City emerged. History matters. We each carry inside of us the stories of generations. The happy, the sad. Within these walls, the history of Manhattan is here with us. That error or omission or whatever it was, I mean, think how different this place had been if the Dutch had agreed with the Lenape. There would have been no wall. And who knows what kinds of gardens and spaces and respect for the earth not only would have been started here, but would have spread throughout the nation that was experiencing the same ethnocentricity between settlers and native peoples. Fascinating image. In 2024, the Dutch came here to have the 400th anniversary commemoration of that relationship between the Dutch and not the Lenape, but the Americans who were here, just the settler Americans. We rightfully call out those unacceptable parts of history, including our own Dutch history. We cannot change the past, but we can face up to it. 4 centuries ago, an interwoven network of people, Europeans, Africans, and Native Americans, began something on the island of Manhattan. Each of those peoples was unique and distinct. Some had been here forever. Some arrived in chains on ships, and others were making a profit on both. Those people of the past were as complex as we are, flawed, scheming, generous, capable of greatness and of destruction. Appreciating what they did as fully as we can might help us to all understand ourselves better. End of quote. Curtis Zuniga is currently the co-director of a nonprofit, Manhattan-based, for a Lenape center that's here. And the center's mission is to promote Native American arts and humanities, environmental stewardship, and to spread awareness of the Lenape identity. The co-directors, none of whom live in Manhattan. They live far west of here, Ohio and Wisconsin, I think. Zanagi admits that a lot of the ancestral knowledge and the stories, the culture, have been lost over time since they were forced off their lands. But his creation of the Lenape Center is because there's hope that even though they were forced to assimilate and migrate, that the culture is never entirely lost. He says, "A way is always shown, and we are still here. We love New York. We have a history here before the white man ever showed up. But the Lenape have been forgotten because they haven't had a presence here for decades, centuries. We have people, including myself, that still pray in our language, conduct ceremonies, and remember the ancestors. When we do that, we're blessed with the gifts of the Creator, with the continuance of our culture for yet one more generation. We try to learn and practice and be patient." End of quote. James Baldwin wrote, "The great force of history comes from the fact that we carry it within us, are unconsciously controlled by it in many ways. And history is literally present in all that we do. Not everything that is faced can be changed, but nothing can be changed until it is faced." Columbus Day or Indigenous Peoples Day? What is the history that the United States of America chooses to prevail? When will we learn to speak the truth, as Germans have spoken the truth, to own our past and all its successes and sins, so that we can live together honestly, holding one another in kindness over the sorrows we have shared? Before we can learn the tender gravity of kindness, we must cleanse ourselves of all that ethnocentricity. We must learn that it was not the white European culture that is the best and should dominate and should be on top of the rest of the world. We have to learn that every culture has something beautiful to share, has wisdom to offer, and gifts to be bestowed. We must see that this could be us how he too was someone who journeyed through the night with plans and the simple breath that kept him alive. It was in some year that Barack Obama gave a speech, and he was commemorating the Emancipation Proclamation, and I don't remember exactly what year it was, but I wrote down what he said. The great force of history comes from the fact that we carry it within us, are unconsciously controlled by it. We are not only living history, we are the creators of history, the history that will be carried forth from our time for generations to come. For however slow, however incomplete, however harshly, loudly, rudely challenged at each point along the journey in America, we can create the change that we seek. All it requires is that our generation be willing to do what those who came before us have done, to rise up above the cynicism and rise above the fear, to hold fast to our values, to see ourselves in each other, to cherish dignity and opportunity, not just for our own children, but for everybody's children. We must remember that our freedom is bound to the freedom of others, regardless of what they look like, where they came from, what their last name is, or what faith they practice. We are each being called to rise to that truth. At the demonstration on Saturday, I hope I will see you all there with a sign, because that's the power that we have right now. I hope that on tomorrow, on Indigenous Peoples' Day, you will remember the stories that are buried beneath these streets. That you will rise in courage and in faith to confront, to resist everything that is the opposite of kindness in our world right now. Together, we can make a difference. Not everything we face can be changed, but nothing can be changed until we face it. I will see you downtown. I will have my sign. So may it be. Amen, and blessed be. Please rise, embody your spirit, and we will sing number 163, For the Earth Forever Turning.
Me.
As we extinguish the light of our chalice, we carry the fire of commitment and the love of community with us always. And now in our going, may love bless us and keep us. May the light of love shine upon us and out from within us, and be gracious unto us and bring us peace. For this is the day we are given. Let us rejoice and be glad in it.